many of you, I went to work today, and when I work I have a routine. And that routine is, before I start work, I always put the kettle on, because everybody's entitled to a cup of tea. Am I right, Dan?
You're right, Mark.
And this morning when I got to work, there was only Mick there before me. Now Mick's also got a routine. He buys a paper on his way to work and he reads it in work time. But I know what Mick drinks, so I creep up behind him with a drink and I smack it down in the middle of his paper. Bosh! Spills everywhere. And then I say to Mick, Mick, I've made you a drink. Mick knows he's got a drink and Mick knows I've made it. It's a simple but effective communication technique. I'll then go and hide in the kitchen, and then as the others come in, I'm on it straight away. Drink bosh, drink bosh, drink bosh. Obviously I don't call them all Mick because that'd be silly. And if they're Irish, slightly offensive. And then when the first half dozen or so are in, I'll make them all a second drink, whether they want it or not, and then that's me done, because no one's left to make more than 2 rounds of drinks in any one working day. Am I right, Dan?
You're right again, Mark.
And then if a latecomer comes in and says,
Mark never makes a drink.
Mick puts him straight and he says,
Oi, he's made me 2 already when you weren't here. Wind your neck in.
and harmony is restored to the workplace. But today, people, something happened, something changed, and it's a story that I'm going to share with you. Because it got to about 2 o'clock and I was feeling a bit, so I started looking around the office to see who ain't made a drink. There's 20 people over and I ain't had 20 drinks. But I've suddenly seen Janet walking towards the kitchen, but she's hiding her mug behind her, and I'm thinking, aha, Janet's making a crafty one. I'm going to have to subtly grab her attention. So I stood up and I said,
Oi, Janet, I'll have one.
well, she turned around, she looked at me and she said,
I am not making one. I am going to the dentist. I am simply washing my cup.
and if I'm honest, I made myself look a little bit silly. But what I did do, people, was draw attention to the fact that the 2 o'clock round of drinks was imminent. Now, the 2 o'clock round of drinks is the most important round of drinks in any one working day, because for many people it's the last one of the working day. So therefore, no one wants to miss it, but as a consequence, no one wants to make it. So I started looking around the office to see who was going to offer to make a drink, but everybody was looking at me. Everyone was looking at me. Some of them were even dangling their mugs in my direction. It suddenly became apparent that I was being expected to make an unprecedented 3rd round of drinks. Oh, I got animated, I got agitated, I exploded. But I could have kicked off, but no. I picked up the tray and I collected all the mugs for this mammoth and unprecedented 3rd round of drinks. People, it led me to a discovery that I'm going to share with you. Because what I discovered was that the whole of modern society can be placed into various groups and categories based upon their beverage drinking habits and consumptions. And I'm going to share that with you today. I must warn you that some of your relationships may never be the same again, because you may recognise some of your friends, family, colleagues and even yourselves as being members of these groups. So strap yourselves in, it could get uncomfortable. Now before we go any further, I don't know if you know Tony, but he only drinks hot water. He's no bother. But this in itself brings conflict and ambiguity into the workplace, because you get all the left-wing vegetarian hipster social worker types that only drink fruit tea, which, let's face it, is just squash for grown-ups. And they say,
it's just the same, you've only to put a bag in it.
and then I have to say,
I do see where you're coming from, but at the end of the day, that does involve infusion. Fuck off.
now the next group of people I'm going to talk about is the biggest group of all the groups. These are the people that always say yes to a drink. Don't say no, wouldn't know how to. These are the people that if you offer them a drink and they've already got one, they'll drink a red hot drink, burning their tonsils just so they can have another one. These are the people that will run to their desks to get their mugs. These are the people who, when you're walking along with a tray, they run alongside you and say, just made it. These people always take one, but they never ever make one. Always take one, never make one. Now these people are called arseholes. There's many of them. I expect a few of them are watching this video now. But some of them even aggravate the fact, because not only do they always take one and never make one, but just as he's handing you his mug, he'll say,
I was just about to make one.
proper arsehole. It's up to you to convert them. You've got to make them normal. You've got to change them. But you can't take them all on at once. There's more of them than there are of you. you get yourself into trouble. So the best way to do this is if you imagine all the arseholes of gazelles grazing on the wild savannah. You are a lone lion hunting your prey. You've only got one chance to get this right, so you've got to identify the weakest and most vulnerable member of the group to pick on. Obviously, don't pick on the same person all the time. You'll get done for bullying and harassment. But this is what you do. If he takes sugar, you don't give him any sugar. If you don't take sugar, you give him loads of sugar. And if you don't take milk, you give him so much milk, he thinks he's got a couple of Horlicks. And then what you do is you put it all on the tray, you walk around the office, halfway through, you give him his drink and you walk away. Soon enough, he's going to say,
Oh, no, I don't take sugar.
and then you say,
I'm sorry, my mistake.
and then when it all goes quiet, you say,
You can always make it yourself.
he'll make the next one. Don't worry about that. Now in every office there's a prick who don't drink tea or coffee but gets upset if you don't ask him. Got one in my office, his name's called Andrew. Not that to call him Andy, sums him up entirely. Now when he went to HR to complain about me, and he said,
When Mark makes a tea or coffee in the morning, he doesn't ask me if I want a tea or coffee. Even though I don't drink tea or coffee, I'd still like to be asked if I'd like a tea or coffee, because he's asking everybody else if they want a tea or coffee, and I want to feel like everybody else.
then the lady from HR took me into a meeting and she said,
I've had a complaint from Andrew. He says when you make a tea or coffee in the morning, you don't ask him if he wants a tea or coffee. Even though he doesn't drink tea or coffee, he'd like to be asked if he wants a tea or coffee, because you ask everybody else if they want a tea or coffee, and he wants to feel like everybody else. So now, you must ask him if he wants a tea or coffee, or you will be disciplined.
so now, every bloody morning we have to play out this farcical routine where I say, good morning Andrew, would you like a tea or coffee this morning? And he says, good morning Mark, no thank you, I don't drink tea or coffee, but he feels like everybody else. So just to make sure he really feels like everybody else, I charge him £5 a month for the privilege. Thank you Andrew. Now, the next group I'm going to talk about is quite controversial because there's a split in this group and it's a matter of gender. Because these are the people that when you ask them if they want a drink, they will not give you a straight answer. Ask a woman in this category if she wants a drink. You don't get an answer, you get this.
I would quite like one, but I probably shouldn't have one. But I haven't had one since lunch, so if I don't have one now, I won't have one till I get home. But then I might need a wee on the bus, so I probably shouldn't have one. But Brenda's having one, and Marjorie's having one. Oh, go on, I'll have a cup of tea.
Now come on ladies, there's no need for that. We don't need a story, we just want an answer. Keep it short. But the blokes are worse. The blokes are far worse, because there's always a bloke that thinks it's a trick question. You ask me if he wants a drink and he says,
Only if you're making one.
what's he think I am, some kind of nutter who goes around the room saying,
Want a drink? Want a drink? Want a drink? Well, I'm not making one.
the one who really winds me up is the one who answers you cryptically. You'll know. You say to him, hello mate, do you want a drink? And he says,
Wouldn't say no.
what's so fucking yes then, it ain't difficult. I mean, let's face it, only the consumption of hot beverages is the phrase, I wouldn't say no, even relevant. He don't go home at night and his wife says to him,
Can I have a lift to bingo?
and he says,
I wouldn't say no.
Have you let the cat out?
I wouldn't say no.
when he's watching his team play football and they score a goal, he doesn't say.
I wouldn't say no.
And let's face it, how many mucky movies have you seen where she's reaching a point of orgasm and she shouts out,
I wouldn't say no. I wouldn't say no. I wouldn't say no. Oh.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to take one thing away with you today, let it be this. Next time you go to work, don't be an arsehole. Put the kettle on, because if you're going to take one, you should make one. Cheers.